Hello everybody, this is the last of our series of these tutorials. I'm going to show you today, in fact I'm just going to resolve that issue I had previously. I've noticed my lamp was floating, and another strategy I realised I could just move the table up. So I'm going to do that just now very quickly. I think about 35 will do it. There we go, a little bit more. Whenever you do a move, I always recommend you click on the browser, the component, and then press M. Seems to be a kind of nicer way to do it. It's always a bit smoother doing it that way. So I've rectified that. Obviously, my legs will be a bit shorter here, but I could obviously go back to the table here. I could tweak this, bring that a bit further down. All this is just for aesthetics, so I'm not too concerned about being accurate with it. And what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've moved the whole thing down there. Not quite what was intended. I'm happy to just run with that for now. I'm going to go back to render now, and what I'm going to show you is, I'm going to zoom in on this. I'm just going to quickly decal that image in again from previous onto the table real quick. I'll just drop it there, that's fine. So you should be up to this stage if you followed the previous extension task. And what I'm going to do now is show you, we're going to talk a little bit about scene settings, and I'm going to actually show you how you can get this light bulb to shine as well. I've only just learned about this myself, so bear with me. Scene settings. Here we have a bunch of settings for the general kind of environment, brightness and so on, and you can play around with those things. But what I'm going to show you is the environment setting here. And here you can select the different types of lighting you want the environment to have. And you can drag them in. We're going to go with grid lighting for this. Okay, it gives it a bit of a darker feel, and then hopefully when we shine the bulb, you'll see the light coming from that. Now we want to do something to the bulb. We want to change this, and so this was the component we brought in from GrabCAD. So what we actually want to do is go back to the design. We're going to, you see this chain link? That basically means everything's tied up. It's almost like when a file's zipped up and compressed. So as you can see, this is a whole assembly with all its separate components. So what we're going to do is right click on that, and here we've got break link, so we can break that link. And what it's now going to do is, you can see the bulb here. If I expand that, you'll now see within the bulb we have all the separate components. So these, if you see my drawing as I hover over, these are the separate components of purely of the bulb. Okay, now breaking that up allows us to manipulate it, which is really useful. And in other contexts, for other drawings that you might do, you can grab things in from GrabCAD, break the link. You might want to slightly redesign a component. You can absolutely do that. We'll go back to render now that we've done that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go appearance. Now, sometimes it seems like you click this and your appearance bar disappears. You have to look for it, and often find sometimes it's kind of just snuck its way up here. It's camouflaged amongst this ribbon. So have a look, and hopefully you'll find it. And then here we also have certain bulbs that we can utilize for this, in terms of appearance, and it will give it those properties. So I'm just going to drag that onto here. Okay, so I've removed the previous appearance there. That's what that message was saying, and I've applied the new one that I want to give it. So that message that came up basically said that to remove the appearance that was applied to that component when it was in GrabCAD, and so I just said yeah, that's fine. And you can also almost see already that we've got a bit of light there. So now if I give you a quick preview, I'm just going to close this browser here. We're going to do an in-canvas render. We'll just do a short one, and we'll leave it be, and you'll see that that's starting to show the light shining on our document. So again, a pretty cool thing that you can do in terms of rendering, playing around with the lighting. Obviously, I've just given you a bit of a taste here for what is possible and shown you a few things that you can do, and you are free to run with that now with your design. And obviously with this decal function, we could put things on the wall to try and make it look even more realistic, and so on and so forth. And you can see with the lighting settings now, we see a bit more in terms of shadow, and we're getting to the stage where it looks way more realistic. Okay, I'm going to leave that rendering, and just for the sake of the recording, then you can skip ahead and see what the in-canvas render ended up looking like. And then if you want to do a full render, obviously you select this button here. You'll go through the settings. Okay. Now, as I've done that, it's reset. So if you're doing an in-canvas render, learn from my slight mistake there and leave it to do it before you do anything. It is. I've seen it on videos where they recommend if you're doing in-canvas render, go make a cup of tea, just come back, go grab a drink, and let it run its course. Because if you do anything like I just tried to, then it will reset. I think it's a bit too demanding on the computer's graphics card to do anything else. But I'll leave that rendering. The video will be a bit longer. That'll allow you just to skip ahead and see what it looks like. It seems my computer's actually struggling with this now. So again, like I say, if you're doing in-canvas render to get a little preview, leave it run and then come back later. So I'm going to finish that recording now and yeah, have a bit of fun with those scene settings for your rendering.